Welcome to the It's a Start Pitch Competition 2019 featuring the 10 finalists. It's a Start Canada debuted at DigiFest in 2012, where startups competed for cash prizes in space at the Digital Media and Gaming Incubator at George Brown College. This year, close to 80 submissions were received for this year's competition. 30 of the startups were invited to a creative camp weekend in March, where participants had the chance to meet with mentors and practice their pitch presentations. From that group, 10 finalists were invited to compete here today. You're here this afternoon to watch, listen, and be inspired. These 10 pitches will be from design-led, digital media, and lifestyle aspiring entrepreneurs. So pretty big variety, but all are founded in digital innovation. This is the 7th year we're hosting this pitch competition, and in addition to the cash and in-kind prizes offered by It's a Start, the top 2 winners today will have the opportunity to attend the International Overseas Talent Entrepreneurship Conference in China in August. I would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, the City of Toronto and Startup Here Toronto, Start GBC, the Wildeboer de Lilche, iCube at the University of Toronto, Artscape, and Klaus Hound for their generous support. A round of applause for those sponsors, everyone. Thank you. Now let's talk about the prizes. This year's prizes include cash. Cash is always good, right, for startups. Working space, mentorship, and more. The first prize is $5,000 cash plus a year of office space in the Digital Media and Gaming Incubator at GBC, plus in-kind legal services from Wildeboer de Lilche. The second prize is $3,000 with 6 months of space plus a starter kit and small business law library plus package from Klaus Hound. The third prize is $2,000 plus 6 months of space plus starter kit and small business law library plus package from Klaus Hound. You always need lawyer help, right? Every single step of the way, especially if you're in my business of cannabis. The People's Choice Prize is a new one, but we've been doing it for the last few years with the help of our partners creating our app. It comes with a cash prize of $1,000 along with space at iCube with the University of Toronto Mississauga campus. And remember, that prize is voted on by you. So really, the startup with the most friends in the audience that download the app will win that $1,000. So please make some friends if you're in the top 10. Get them to download the DigiFest app and make a selection through that. That will be a quantifiable solution. An honorable mention will be awarded to the most creative startup, and the prize is 1 year full membership to the new Artscape Daniels Launchpad. So there are a lot of winners that are going to be among the top 10, and you could be one of those winners if you're in this group tonight. So, how is it conducted? How does this happen? How do we decide the winner? Well, we have a panel of amazing jury members seated right in front of me that if you haven't schmoozed up to them before, you missed the chance. Let me go through the list of distinguished folks that are sitting in front of me and give them a quick bio. If you can just stand up and wave to everyone when I call your name. Kundan Joshi from TheAppLabb. There we go. Kundan is a serial entrepreneur with a love for technology and business. Yes, a round of applause for Kundan for coming and volunteering. You better, the top 10 better clap for all the jurors, thank you. He started his first venture when he was still a student, and in 2007 he founded TheAppLabb, a leader in strategy, design, and development for mobile apps. Now with 8 global offices, they are specialists in mobile app development, UX, UI, design, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality. You have all the buzzwords in this biography, Kundan. And Internet of Things, which is also my favorite buzzword. Kundan was recognized as the RBC Entrepreneur of the Year and as the top 25 Canadian immigrants in 2018. Next on this list, Carmen Douville from Artscape Launchpad. Do you want to stand up and give us a waving round of applause for Carmen? With a Bachelor of Design from U of A and a Master of Science from the University of Edinburgh, Carmen is an expert in creative industries, entrepreneurship, and urbanism. She's a co-founder of Loyal Loot Collective, taught industrial design at the University of Alberta. Carmen is currently the Director of Partnerships and Network Engagement at Artscape Daniels Launchpad. Nico Lacetera. Round of applause for Nico from the University of Toronto. Nico is an associate prof in the Department of Management at U of T, Mississauga, with a cross appointment to the strategic management area at Rotman and to the economics department. Thank you, Nicola. And last but not least, Lily Tse, founder of Think Dirty app. Lily is the founder and CEO of Think Dirty, a mobile commerce platform that connects ingredient-conscious beauty shoppers to natural beauty brands. Think Dirty was the first grand prize winner of the 2012 It's a Start pitch competition, and they were also the winner of the MasterCard Women Entrepreneurship Competition, Mars Jolt, and CFC Idea Boost. Think Dirty was named the best beauty apps by Refinery29 and Brit & Co. Lily was the first ever grand prize winner of It's a Start, as I mentioned, in 2012. So it goes to show you, you can be a juror in 5 years if you work hard and win this competition tonight. So welcome to all the jurors, and let's get started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Radwan, and I'm the co-founder of LinkMentalHealth. If you or someone you know has gone through some form of mental health struggle, I just want you to nod for me. Can you guys nod? Yeah? And that doesn't surprise me, because over 7 million Canadians have gone through, are struggling with mental health, and over 60% of those people do not get the help they need. So why is that? Well, it's not because of a lack of resources. Oftentimes, it's because people are unaware of the mental health coverage that they have, with over 75% of them being unaware, and that's even more the case with post-secondary students. And the reason I start with that is because that's where my journey began. While I was in school, I was going through a really difficult time. I was having trouble eating, I couldn't get out of bed. So I sought the help of the counseling center at my university, where I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression. And oddly enough, that was actually a very relieving point of my life. There was finally something that could explain what it was that I was going through. But that relief quickly turned to defeat. See, the next thing I heard was, Radwan, you definitely need therapy, but you have to wait 6 months before you can get it. And that's not just the case with the post-secondary student institution level. That's actually the case across the board as well. Despite the fact that there are over 33,000 therapists, only 10% of them answer their phones. So navigating the system, when you do know about your health coverage, despite the fact that I didn't while I was at Ryerson through my student union, is actually also difficult. It took me 2 or 3 months before I was able to find a private therapist. So my team and I figured, you know what? Enough is enough. We created LinkMentalHealth, a website and a web app platform that connects people to mental health services. The way it works is very straightforward. The user goes on our app, on our website, and answers 15 questions about the type of therapist they're looking for. And we got those questions developed with the help of our therapist advisory board. And they ask questions that are often ignored for marginalized communities. These are things like the type of therapist you're looking for, the ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation. But our sophisticated matching algorithm also educates people about the type of coverage they have. Asks people, do you work full-time? Do you study full-time? Where do you study? From there, the user is matched to a list of therapists with the ability to see how many sessions they can afford with that therapist through their coverage, and they're able to connect to the calendars of those therapists. So a process that now takes months, reduced to minutes. The way it currently looks like, well, you have to go through at least 2 or 3 of these platforms in order to get the help that you need. Not only to connect to a therapist, but also to get education about the type of coverage that you have. Oftentimes that can be an awkward conversation with HR or having to make a couple calls to your student union. For us, there were 2 distinct revenue models. The first one that we decided to explore was charging therapists a monthly subscription fee, where there's over 33,000 of them. And we found great success, over 60% conversion rate. But during that time, and half of our therapists on our platform agreed to pay as well, but during that time, we had something interesting happen. A corporation reached out to us and asked us for a quote on mental health services for their over 5,000 employees, and asked us if we would if we do something like that, to which we said, yeah, of course we do. And upon doing some more market research, we found that there was a significant appetite for mental health resources for employees that already fits into the existing platform that we have. In order to do that, we need to continue scaling. So we want to scale fast, not just across Ontario, but across Canada. And we soft launched a couple of months ago, and we're about to hit our 1,000 people matched mark, which is definitely exciting. And that's done with no marketing costs. On our end, we found most success through partnerships. And the post-secondary students as our early adopters, where U of T students have access to over $2,500, and which is where we've partnered with that student union. Our team is made up of a variety of people who bring different skill sets. And we're really proud of the achievements that we've done to date. What we hope to do with the funds that we would receive today is to continue building on our matching algorithm and incorporate artificial intelligence to increase the quality of it, as well as really focus in on the employer offering. Simply put, finding mental health support should be simple. And with LinkMentalHealth, it is. Thank you.
Well, we have 2 minutes for questions. If we can bring the mic over to the judges, and we'll figure out who wants to start. Does anyone have questions? Yes.
Very quickly, so you are establishing connections with the therapists, which is great. The coverage, though, comes for the most part from private insurers, I suppose. Do you have any contact with them? What is their role? You know, where I'm going is that, I mean, it's great if everybody who needs mental health assistance gets it. It's wonderful, but it's costly. Right, so have you thought about it? Have you thought about the reaction?
So we've spoken with different insurance providers, and it's not actually their cost that they're incurring. It's actually the employers. So they cover the premiums of their employees. And right now there's been a 60% uptick in the employers' not just their willingness, but their expenditure on mental health services, because there is a cost of $750 a year per employee on disability claims, on loss of productivity to work, some things that aren't even quantified, but the quantified things are glaring. There's a $50 billion loss in economy, like in Canada, because of mental health. So employers, when we were approaching employers, we didn't need to convince them that mental health is important. They already knew, which honestly surprised me a little bit. All we needed to do was showcase that our solution was what it is that they needed. And that's what we found so far with pilots that we're finalizing with our first employer.
Thank you.
Okay, Lily wanted to ask a question quickly.
So based on my understanding, there's a lot of player already enter in your market, like your field. How are you differentiating yourself different from Inkblock, for example? That's question number one. Question number two, based on my understanding, you know, it's very regulated, so you have to go by province. How are you going to scale?
Yep. So Inkblot and others are focusing in on online therapy. For us, we want to use a technology to connect people to in-person therapy to start, and then do the online for people who can't otherwise do rural areas. And we found that there aren't really any competitors that exist who combine insurance coverage and that piece and resources, and have the ability to connect people to free therapy programs, which is also something we do if you don't have income or if you can't afford therapy for whatever reason. So having a system that is complex already enough, simplified, is one of our differentiators. As for scaling across provinces, because we're simply dealing with the connection between the therapist and the client, the regulations are fairly consistent. The CPA, the Canadian Psychological Association, and the college that governs it, they all follow the same standards. So it's really just about maintaining the PHIPAA aspect, which we already do through the widgets that we've integrated into our platform.
All right, that's all the time we have. Give it up for LinkMentalHealth. Mero is up next. My Well Self. Is someone here from My Well Self to present? Wonderful. Round of applause for My Well Self. Yeah, you can stand on the podium if you want.
Yeah, thanks. Okay.
All right, your time starts now.
Okay. Thank you. Hello. My name's Brenda, and I'm the founder of My Well Self. My Well Self is a website dedicated to complementary and alternative medicine therapy. Okay? So I want to introduce you to two people. We have Samuel on the left. He's a migraine sufferer, He's been suffering from migraines for a while. Complementary care hasn't worked for him, and he's looking for CAM therapy as an alternative. But problem is, he doesn't know where to find someone who's trained and vetted to help him out. We have Rashmi on the left, on the right. She's a licensed acupuncturist, and she actually has lots of experience with patients who deal with migraines. Her problem is that she doesn't know how to market herself online. So we have two people, we have two problems, and we have one solution. The solution is My Well Self, a platform that offers a directory of vetted CAM health practitioners. So for someone like Samuel, it offers him the informed decision to make an informed decision, to find a CAM practitioner like Rashmi. And for Rashmi, it offers her the opportunity to increase her visibility online to people like Samuel. So the platform, I'll divide it into 3 sections. The first section is called Make an Informed Decision. This is for someone like Samuel. It allows him to go on, thank you. It allows him to go on and to find a vetted CAM therapist like Rashmi. Next is public engagement. This is a platform for someone like Rashmi and someone like Samuel. So they can go on together, engage, and communicate before Samuel makes that decision to go out there and actually see Rashmi in her office. The next part is public engagement. That's for people like Samuel. Let's say Samuel has a friend online who also suffers from migraine. They can connect together, chat online like we all do on social media. Okay? Here we go. So the business model. For someone like Samuel, it's 100% free. He can sign up, engage, and have fun. For someone like Rashmi, it works on a freemium business model. So obviously, there's a premium for increased visibility. Now, competition, RateMD is our biggest competition, but I'll tell you why it doesn't work for Samuel and Rashmi. For someone like Samuel, it doesn't offer a vetted system. It doesn't offer a comprehensive listing of people like Rashmi. And it also doesn't offer that social engagement, social engagement platform that we all do on social media, okay? For someone like Rashmi, it doesn't offer online engagement to increase her visibility. I want to make a quick note about a company called realself.com. They're not a competitor, but they're in the same space as I am, meaning that their platform is similar. But they are dedicated to the area of cosmetic surgery. I want to note that they've made, seriously, just recently, $40 million in new funding. Same kind of service platform, but again, different niche. So how are we going to get to Samuel and how are we going to get to Rashmi? For Samuel, he and his friends are in Facebook groups. They're in holistic groups, alternative groups, complementary groups. We are currently in there establishing our brand, getting them to subscribe to our newsletter, and I want to just take a big brush and sweep them onto the website when we launch, okay? For Rashmi, she's in different places, but we want to see her at conferences. And the idea is for conferences for CAMs, they always have a marketing section because they're not marketers by trade. So this is where My Well Self is going to be placing themselves. Early traction, again, we're a startup. We haven't launched as yet. We're launching in May, but we have 57 committed CAM practitioners like Rashmi ready to go when the website launches next month. Thank you. Projections. So this is going to get confusing for me. I'm not a numbers person, but I want to say that we're launching in different provinces. Ontario is an example that's right here. Oh, there's an Amber Alert happening. In the first month, we plan to enroll 1,000 profiles in the first year, onto the My Well Self platform. And when we build up to year 2, 3, and 4, we're looking to make that amount in year 4. I want to reiterate that this is only for Ontario. There are other provinces as well that use CAM, which includes BC, Quebec, and Alberta. In year 4 or 5, once we've established our market in Canada, we are next going to go into the US, which is it's a bigger market than Canada. Okay? And I also want to add that I forgot about Samuel and his friends. Again, they will be added on there as we build the camps. And last but not least is our team. Myself, I have 15 years in clinical trial management, which means I talk to a lot of doctors and physicians and nurses, and my CTO and my social media consultant. Thank you.
All right, congratulations for, even with that Amber Alert, we almost did the time. Let's give it up for 2 minutes of questions to the judges. Who wants to go first? Okay, Carmen.
Yes.
Carmen?
Thanks for your presentation, Brenda.
Yes.
Can you describe the vetting process a little bit more? Because I am one of those people where I will cross-reference
Yes.
Google with Rate MD, and I didn't get quite the gist.
So please repeat your question. I didn't hear it.
How does the vetting process?
So the vetting
process.
process works where, let's say Rashmi wanted to join our website. She would have to go onto our website, and there's a specific session for CAM therapists. They would have to do an intake. So they would provide minimal information. Then I would be able to, whoever the intake person is verify that information manually. It's similar to if you were to go to your insurance company, you were to take a receipt and bill it to your insurance company. In your insurance company, there's someone verifying that information, I'm hoping. It's the same process. So we were taking that information, we're making sure that Rashmi is actually a licensed acupuncturist, and then her profile is approved to go onto the system. Yeah.
And then is there any, I guess, vetting from the public? So whether it be from like a kind of an authenticity kind of like angle?
Sorry, I didn't get your...
Oh, I'm sorry. From an authenticity angle, like one of the reasons why a lot of people use a platform like RateMD or Google for reference of practitioners is because there's a level of authenticity there. How is that captured?
So when you say it's captured, how is it detailed on the website?
Yeah.
Through language. Through language. So our terms of service, and also when the user comes onto the website, they are told through their experience, user experience, that each CAM that's on the website goes through a vetting process. It's not anybody who can, and I always make a comparison about submitting that receipt to your insurance company. If you can do that and it's approved, they're going to be on the website. But if you do and they're not going to be on the website. Yeah.
All right, sorry, judges, that's all we've got time for. The 2 minutes is up. We'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Round of applause. Up next is Ocutherapy. Ocutherapy, make your way to the stage. Big round of applause for Ocutherapy. Hype it up. Podium, go right ahead.
Oh, can I go back? Oh, do you mind if I just go back one?
Can we go back one?
Sorry about that. Okay.
All right, your 5 minutes starts now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lacetera. I'm the co-founder of Ocutherapy. In 2016, my father suffered a massive stroke. Now, seeing his challenges, his daily challenges and frustration and the struggle that he had, I knew there had to be a better way. So I set out on a mission, inspired to help people just like him living with the challenges of acquired brain injury and cognitive impairments alike. From here, I translated into my master's degree, which inevitably became what is now Ocutherapy. So what we do is we use Ocutherapy is a virtual reality rehabilitation platform to connect the dots in the continuum of care, to seamlessly connect both patient and practitioner to create a personalized recovery journey for them. And think of it as like Fitbit for the brain. Now, what we find right now is that there are clear and obvious barriers in the patient-practitioner relationship, namely in the form of issues in accessibility, engagement, and insight. And this is a massive problem with over 3.4 million people a year being affected by acquired brain injury. And this number is expected to rise nearly 30% within the next 10 years, making it one of the most common neurological conditions. What we find is that there's a negative loop taking place with people receiving limited rehabilitation, transitioning to the home before they're ready, and or dropping out due to lack of interest, and subsequently getting re-injured. And this cycle repeats itself. And here's the problem with this. Access to service can be particularly challenging for these types of patients. And with engagement, most people don't understand the full purpose as to what they're doing in their exercises and building this routine into their day-to-day life. And as a result, assessing their outcomes and understanding fully where they are in that continuum of care can be particularly problematic. Now, we solved that. With Ocutherapy, we've created a seamless turnkey solution that seamlessly connects both patient and practitioner to their continuum of care. And the way we do this is a simple three-pronged approach. We simply assess each person for their unique cognitive and physical capabilities, and such that our proprietary artificial intelligence system in place is able to uniquely identify exactly what each person needs in less than 69 seconds. And this is compared to the normal 2 to 3 hours this would normally take using traditional methods and pen and paper to get the same amount of data. From here, we focus in on these key areas of the brain and creating custom virtual exercises to help train their brain further. And then subsequently, we personalize it even further by creating clear and concise data so that they can fully understand their outcomes. So effectively what we're doing is removing the guesswork in the rehabilitation process, improving both access to care, both on-site at a clinic or a hospital, but also as a remote monitoring tool, connecting both patients to practitioners, but patients to their quality of care themselves, so that there is a true understanding in where they are in that continuum, creating unprecedented levels of insight so that they understand exactly where they are in their recovery journey and where they're going. Now, unlike our competition, they tend to focus on one or two of these key areas that are indicative of a successful recovery. Ocutherapy represents a comprehensive suite of both assessments and interventions that are able to uniquely characterize each person's needs. And we're excited to share with you where we're going on our growth right now. Since launching our beta, we've received several pre-orders, early adopters, and our MOU, especially with our testing pilot with Toronto Grace Hospital, whereby we will be testing this with them with the intention of purchasing it and having it hospital-wide. So this is exciting time for us that we'll be able to service the needs of the people within the GTA. And from here, we'll be leveraging our existing partnerships as well as working forward to expanding new ones with our existing partners, including IBM, York University, an assistive device distributor that services across Canada, 3 of the largest brain injury organizations in Canada, as well as we've teamed up with the not-for-profit called Athletes for Care with their focus on advancing brain health and wellness for high-impact sports and professional athletes, specifically in the NHL and the NFL. And from here, we're going to be looking forward into optimizing key features and functionalities to continue to add value as we move towards our full-scale launch in the near future and scaling this to high-impact and high-growth markets across North America, as we've already received traction in those areas. Now, although I'm no longer able to help my father at this time, there is still hope for the millions of people out there living with the challenges of acquired brain injury as we move forward in redefining rehabilitation. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. We do have time for 2 minutes of questions. Who would like to go? Kundan's up next, I think. There we go.
What's your revenue model and revenue projections?
Sorry?
What's your revenue model and revenue projections over the next 5 years?
Yeah, so our revenue model right now is B2B. We don't have our revenue projections in place just yet, but because of the power of our recurring revenue model, so we use a subscription model, we predict that that we'll be receiving like exponential growth each quarter, given the power of the recurring revenue model, and we bill annually as well too. So with the people that we've already received our pre-orders from, I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for in projections. Yeah, so we have a tiered approach that we're charging right now, whereby we have a small clinic. We charge based on sessions, so we've calculated the average amount of sessions that are being used at a particular facility, and like based on clinics, so we have 100, 500, and unlimited sessions, and then we have our enterprise model. And so for those, it's you want the price points, or so it's $199 per month, and then it goes up to $899 per month, billed annually, and then $1999 per month. And we've benchmarked this against other competing companies, looking at the value, what they're adding, and then how to stay competitive as well too. And from what we've went in through our outreach and our preliminary sales, it's being very well received. So
We have time for one more short question. Anyone? Anyone on the panel? Not from the audience, from the jurors? Okay, round of applause. Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Up next is Relove. Relove, make it to the stage. After Relove is Retreat, just so you're ready. Relove. All right, and your time starts now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vasiliki Belagrinas, and I'm the founder and CEO of Relove, an online wardrobe sharing platform built for the millennial woman to lend their closets and make some money by renting out their clothes to other women in their community. Now, Relove started out of my own personal closet. I would enter my closet, witness a sea full of clothes, and feel as if I had absolutely nothing to wear. And time again, we hear countless stories of friends and family spending hundreds, even thousands of dollars on items, only never to be worn again. In fact, less than 20% of what's in our closets are actually being worn regularly, meaning the other 80% translates to a whole lot of money and textiles being wasted, making the fashion industry the second largest global polluter in the world. Distraught by this reality, I decided to tear down my closet, transform into an office to build this company. A company on a mission to reduce our environmental impact, reuse hardly worn items, and re-love fashion piece after fashion piece from a community of women sharing their style. So this is where Relove comes in. Women can lend their closets, and others can rent them out for up to 90% off of the original retail price. The Relove experience has been truly undefined to any other that's currently in the market. We currently leverage being a managed marketplace, meaning that we eliminate all purchasing costs, leveraging what's already in people's closets. Further, we use AI curation to truly make the Relovers experience truly seamless, meaning that they're only going to see items that are personalized to their preference in style, color, size, brand, whatever it may be, making them save time and also more likely to rent out. And we also use user-generated reviews so that we can have a trusting community of individuals, not just models, commenting on the size and fit of what they're renting out. Based off our current operational partners, we're leveraging a 58% profit margin, which is due to scale as we go about scaling up and using economies of scales. And we further have 3 main revenue streams, 2 of which are active, being the pay per rent and the e-consignment model. And we'll be unrolling a subscription model later on in the summer to reach our financial projections. But currently, we've been able to partner with over 50 top GTA-based fashion influencers with a huge audience reach targeted to our consumer market, who have also lended out their closets with us. And different from our competitors, Relove is truly different from what's currently available in both the rental space and the marketplaces. So from a rental perspective, what's currently available is very much focused on the niche of formal wear. But Relove goes beyond that in the style variety, having going to workwear, casual, and on. And from a marketplace perspective, we are completely hassle-free. We don't allow for lowball offers on making items seem really cheap prices. We focus on having quality items and further removing the whole hassle of meeting up with people and only to be canceled a few minutes before. With Relove, it's a truly hassle-free experience with unlimited options, and to think of it almost as if your best friend's closet, only bigger, better, and more convenient. And to date, we've actually been able to have high growth within our company. So we recently acquired one of our competitors, Boro, bringing them onto our platform for a larger consumer base. We have over 950 items from a variety of Canadian designers, Toronto designers, sustainable brands as well, valued over $500,000. And we've been featured in a variety of articles, such as Startup Here Toronto, and have been recently accepted into the Fashion Zone at the DMZ, as well as the Launchpad U Accelerator at York University. We are a female-led company with leading experiences in the fashion, beauty, and tech space. I myself am leading the company based on my experience as a 2-time social entrepreneur, where I was previously recognized by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau with my previous experience, as well as my team members who all have experiences in retail giants and have been focused on really bringing this forward. We also have our first intern, Kendra, which will be expanded to 7 interns in just the next week. We're also supported by a number of great advisors, including Gail, who is a huge pioneer here in the North American landscape for retail IT, previously revamping all of Walmart's operations in Canada and America, and now leading Holt Renfrew. Barbara, who is a huge advocate in the fashion startup space here in Toronto, as well as Stacy, who has been active in Mars in the Center of Impact Investing, focused specifically within fashion companies, as well as Suzanne and Alessia, who have also worked very closely with e-consignment stores here in Canada as well. So overall, by leveraging the power of the sharing economy, we truly believe we have the power to help women dress on a sustainable budget, save and make money, all while benefiting the environment simultaneously. So join us on our quest to reduce, reuse, and relove. Thank you.
Thank you, Relove. We have 2 minutes of questions. Lily, you want to start?
So how can people lend out their closet?
Yeah, so it goes through an approval process. We always take items that are of a certain quality, retail value, and condition to ensure that what you are also renting out also has a good discount to it. And from there, it's all just done digitally. They take a photo of it, they upload it onto our form, and then within 24 hours, we will either accept or decline it.
Hi. One of the challenges in this space is a challenge for the renters from the perspective of making sure their clothes are insured as well as they are clean, so dry clean when they come back. How are you solving that challenge?
Yeah, so we manage the cleaning and everything. And we actually have been able to build out really great partnership discounts with our wet cleaners to actually have that be put into our profit margins. And then just on the second part of it about like fit, if that was it, I didn't hear the whole. Insurance. Oh, okay. So for the lenders then. So and the renters, everyone has an insurance on the items that is able to cover beyond for any minor scratches and such. Most of the times what we found currently, it's more of a cleaning issue, which is already part of our expenses. It's never been damaged beyond control. But again, within our own profit, our own margins, we've been able to allocate a fund aside for any time where we need to replace the entire retail value or replace the item in general. But it hasn't been the case so far. Obviously, we put the measures in place in case that does happen. But again, it's mostly just a cleaning repair than anything else.
We can take one more small question if anybody has one. Okay, jurors, we'll wrap it up. Thanks so much. Relove.
Thank you.
Retreat is on deck. Thank you. Like to be at the podium? Yes. Yes, don't hit it yet because you're going backwards.
All right.
All right, Retreat, your time starts now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gracie Carroll, and I am the sales lead at Retreat. I'm joined by some of my amazing team members here today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do. So I'm sure everyone can relate to this, being in a bit of a bind with needing a last-minute haircut, wax, nail appointment, maybe you have a date tomorrow, or a big job interview. So you hit the phones and you're trying to find an appointment, except that you're not getting through, you're not getting the appointment that you want, or perhaps you're searching multiple different websites and the same block is happening. You can't find the appointment that you need, or you're being offered a time that doesn't work for you. So this is a situation that is frustrating to everyone. I'm sure you can equate it to being very hangry and not getting through to your favorite takeout spot, in which case you would turn to something like Uber Eats or Ritual in the case of Toronto. So this is the problem that we are trying to solve for the beauty industry, specifically through Retreat. We are currently in market. You can check out our website and web app, which is active at getretreat.co. So there is a 21 billion person market in North America. We have 93 million potential users in North America, and our breadth of services span across the spa and salon offerings of haircuts, blowouts, waxing, acupunctures, facials, massages, you name it. Our target demographic books these types of services at least 12 times per year. So this is a look at how our users currently book appointments, which anyone who has booked an appointment before, which I'm sure is everyone in this room, can relate. So right now it's going one person direct to each business, which often involves getting on the phone or checking individual websites. You need to call many different businesses to find an appointment that works for you, especially when you're looking for something last minute. By centralizing everything through our platform, which is Retreat, you are able to search multiple different appointments from multiple different spas and salons in one spot without ever having to pick up the phone, which obviously for many of us who are very busy is a huge bonus. When we look at the holistic Canadian market, the industry is worth $4 billion. In Toronto alone, that looks like $6.6 million. When we look at the second market that we plan to enter, we're looking at Chicago. And the main reason is because it's a more similar size to Toronto. It's in the same time zone. It's a similar size in terms of how many people there are and the amount of spas and salons. Also, sort of the level of mid to high range salons will be more similar to what we have here in Toronto versus going immediately to LA and New York, where we would see mid to high being like a much bigger share in terms of pricing. But those would be the tertiary markets that we are focused on. So when we look at our product and what's differentiating what we do, we offer 8 key features that really set us apart. So that is the ability to book without ever having to call, which is a huge bonus. We display all available appointments from a service provider, and not just one service provider. You're looking at available appointments from multiple service providers across the city who are offering many different types of services that you may be looking for. There are also discounts, which are not controlled by us. They are completely controlled by the service provider, as well as deals. So you might be able to find a 10, 15, 20, 30% discount that's been set by that spa or salon for a particular service, especially if you're looking for something that's last minute or potentially even at an off hour. We offer real-time notifications to the users as well as the spas. We also allow a user to pay and tip in the app, which is hugely popular and one of the biggest benefits of using our app that we've received feedback from our users so far. As you can all relate to, I'm sure this is kind of like taking an old school taxi and paying by cash or credit card versus just getting into an Uber and hopping out. Our goal eventually is to be able to offer predictive analytics and insights to the spas and salons so they can choose how much they want to discount, when they would want to discount, or even list. We'd be able to see if you list this appointment at this discount in the next 15 minutes, you have a probability of it getting booked within 5 minutes. We also offer automation for some of our spas and salons. We're also moving really quickly into syncing with their individual scheduling platforms. And lastly, our two-tiered take rate model allows the spa to pay a lower fee when it's returning customer versus a net new one, which I'll explain more here. So our business model helps us prevent churn from our, oh, am I out already? Okay, sorry about that.
Jeff, there we go. Thanks very much. We have 2 minutes for questions. Maybe we can get some of the data out of you. Which juror wants to go first? Lily and then Kundan, yeah?
It's more like a comment. I personally really like it because I actually have that experience. So have you ever thought of, ClassPass? I'm sure you heard of ClassPass.
Yeah.
What I thought some potential for your thing could potentially have that component to it as well. So that makes sure people won't cancel and that kind of thing. So do you think of what happened when people cancel last minute?
Yeah, so currently we do have a 24-hour cancellation policy. So it is quite strict. We want to make sure that people who are filling these last minute spots are going to fulfill that. We do have plans to reevaluate the cancellation policy once our user database grows, especially because if you were to cancel within 24 hours, but we knew that we could fill it with your appointment within that time period, then it wouldn't be a loss to our service providers. Currently, if you do cancel within 24 hours, you do get charged, and that fee still goes to our partners.
So one of the challenges that I've seen your competitors are facing is ability to get the salons to adopt your appointment system or integrate into the system, right? And that has affected scale to get more spas and salons as clients. How are you planning to address that?
So at the moment, we have an auto listing feature. So if you let us know the 10 appointments that are most likely to be open, we'll automatically list them for you. But we have found that most of the top service providers are using Booker or MindBody, which MindBody owns Booker. So we're moving very quickly to sync with MindBody and Booker, which will probably take place in the next month or two.
We do have time for one more question if someone else does have one. Okay, we'll wrap it up. Thanks very much, Retreat.
Thank you.
Next on the list is Shuttershare. Shuttershare, make your way to the stage, please. Round of applause for Shuttershare. All right, your time starts now.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Harrison Nolan, and I am one of 2 co-founders of Shuttershare. So Shuttershare is a fully integrated online procurement tool and inventory management system for the media industry. And that's just a really long and convoluted way to say that I make the sourcing of that, all those RE Fresnels down there, all the equipment the patio uses a lot easier. So just taking a quick step back, looking at the media industry that we operate in, I'd like to talk about Netflix because it's super topical given they've just opened up their new studio here in Toronto. But media is all around us. As we can see here today, being in Corus, media is obviously very effervescent, but it's also about that little black rectangle in each of one of your pockets that's just getting bigger and bigger, and it's making it easier and easier to absorb commercial and narrative content, which is really huge, especially here in Canada, and is over a $39 billion industry just in Canada and the United States, and poised for huge growth. in the next 5 years. But believe it or not, the actual production of this media uses this equipment, and the sourcing of it is really difficult. It looks something a little bit like this, where, believe it or not, really up until the production of a Marvel movie, these production studios are sending pictures of a piece of paper with all of their needs to a rental house, who then receives it, tries to understand, can I facilitate the rental on this project? How much should I charge? With really little data to actually make those decisions based off it. So it's a really long process where we lose a lot of time, energy, and money. And what does Shuttershare do? Shuttershare looks like this. It's putting both these parties on one succinct system to save all this time, energy, and money, and save actually a lot of headaches as well. So how does this process actually work? Well, the first thing we do is we take production companies and they actually create a list of the full needs collaboratively with their entire team. That list of needs is turned into an RFQ, which is sent out to all the different suppliers in their area, both suppliers they might be aware of, but also suppliers they might not even known were in the area. Those suppliers then are able to easily understand, can I support this rental using our inventory management system? And what actually should I charge based on some past data and some past rentals? Those bids all come back to the production company, which then can look at each of the bids that were submitted, make a decision, and then we actually automate the rest of the process, the POs, the invoices, a pull request to the warehouse, all that stuff gets done really easily and simply for everyone. So why is this so great? Why do our clients love us? First off is that optimization. I think we're getting there. That's pretty clear at this point. The second piece is business intelligence. Right now, none of these companies have any understanding, how much am I spending on rentals? When am I spending? And if you are actually a supplier, you don't even understand how many of my certain items are going out on which days. And we provide that business intelligence. And of course, this all boils down to increased margins for all parties. So there are a couple competitors right now. There's a couple online rental marketplaces, as we see here on the left, but those are mostly centered around one or two items. It's kind of an Airbnb style marketplace. And as far as an inventory management system, these large suppliers use things like Request Tracker and Database Works, which are basically glorified databases, which cost a lot of money. And believe it or not, these both have not been updated since 2014. So very legacy technology that we need to change. And what's great about our business too is we have a fantastic margin. Right now we take about 30% because we charge 20% on the fees to our supplier, as well as we actually make 10% just from insurance by administering insurance policies. We also have a partnership with the cooperators that helps us with that. And to date, we do about 350 monthly active users using our site. We've done a total volume of over 120, actually now $130,000, haven't updated the slide, in transaction volume. And we've actually indexed over $17 million Canadian of equipment between Toronto and Montreal. And just to tell you a little bit about the two people basically behind this company, our two co-founders have known each other since birth, since it's my brother who can't be here today. But we've done a lot in the past together. We've actually gone to the same school for the same program. Our first business when we were 17, we bought an investment house. We founded a media production company together, which is why we have so much background in this industry and we know the problem very well. We've run a couple of case competitions together. We actually ended up doing some M&A, acquiring another events and marketing company, and then we decided to start this company up together to solve this big issue in the production industry. So I think I'm getting close to the end of my time here, but thank you so much for your time, and I hope you guys can help make this industry a lot more efficient and a lot better in the near future. Thanks.
Thanks, Shuttershare. Let's move it over to the jury for questions. Who wants to go first?
Do you take care of delivery as well, or that's responsible of the supplier?
So, great question. Right now, if you were to drive by William F. White, which is the largest supplier of equipment here in Canada, they do about $100 million of business per year. You'll see a ton of trucks in their lobby, just sitting there dormant. They most do their own delivery right now, but a lot of our investors and advisors are asking us to get into delivery, which is our plan in the next 3 years, yes. Yeah, to basically Uberize all those trucks that are sitting dormant, yeah.
Any other questions from the jury? All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks, Shuttershare.
Okay.
That's a good sign, actually.
Good to know.
All right, next up is StanAI. StanAI. Round of applause for StanAI. Make his way to the stage. All right, and your time starts now.
Great. My name is Max Goodell. I'm one of the co-founders at Stan, and today I'm very excited to introduce you to the first AI property management solution. Now, the problem is something we know really well because my co-founder and I lived it. We used to be condo managers ourselves, and we spent the last 11 years working for the largest condo management company in North America. And in that time, we noticed a number of challenges with the industry. First, there's a shortage of property managers. So managers are often overworked. This creates a second problem, which is poor communication. If you've lived in a condo yourself or have owned a unit, you've probably seen how unresponsive a manager can be. But a lot of this isn't their fault. And of course, this industry is archaic when it comes to technology. But above those 3 points, there's one thing we learned in our careers where we saw an opportunity to make a difference. And it was this point at the bottom. 80% of a property manager's work can be automated because 80% of what they deal with every day is responding to basic resident inquiries. So my co-founder and I did what any two young, sensible guys would do. We quit our very stable jobs. I packed up, drove right across the country back to Toronto, and we decided to build the solution. Stan. Stan is the first AI assistant for condo managers that intelligently responds to all resident inquiries so a manager doesn't have to. And it works all by text message. So if you're a resident, instead of contacting your manager now, you just text Stan. Whether it's booking the elevator, reserving visitor parking, complaining about a noisy neighbor, and Stan responds 24/7, 365. So the value is this. Because we can automate 80% of a manager's day, with the average manager making $70,000 a year, we are saving management companies $56,000 in labor per manager per year. Let's look at how it works. On the left, you'll see an actual inquiry that would come in. Hi, Stan, can you tell me if there's any notices in my condo? To answer that, a few things need to happen. At the top, Stan needs to understand the requests. So we've built a natural language processor for the condo industry and fed it tens of thousands of live resident conversations so Stan can do that. We then went and wrote our own machine learning algorithm so Stan can intelligently find the correct answer and get better and better with every conversation. We've sprinkled some integrations in there so Stan talks to all existing condo software platforms to reference calendars or documents. So the result is on the right. You might ask about a building notice. Stan will tell you there is a notice, tell you about the notice, a water shut off on Friday, when it's happening, even attach the document and go as far as to add it to your calendar. What we're most excited about is this. On the left, you'll see the 7 management companies in Toronto who we are currently working with. This company at the top left, First Service, is the largest management company in North America. And on the right, you'll see the number of condo units we've won and have in the pipe. Late last year, we started with just an idea. We launched Stan earlier this year, and we've already won more than 4,500 condo units in Toronto. We're on pace to be in 25,000 condo units by year's end, and this number, 266,000, that is the total number of condo units in the portfolios of these companies alone. Let's look at the market. There's 66 million condo and apartment units in North America. At $2 a unit a month, which is the fee that we charge, and that's in line with existing condo software that's a lot less functional, doesn't use any AI, this is a $1.6 billion market in North America. That jumps to $25 billion globally. Where do we fit in? Well, at our current pipeline, 266 at $2 a unit a month, that means we have the opportunity in the next 18 months to become a $6.4 million company in annual recurring revenue. That 6.4 million is less than 1% of market share, so it's very doable. And it doesn't include any of the ancillary revenue opportunities we will have at that size. Opportunities to earn off things like insurance, cable, internet, home maintenance. Those opportunities will multiply our annual revenue by 10 times per year. So why us? Well, first, we are first in the AI condo space. Second, Stan is softwareless. There are no apps for a resident to download, no new software for a manager to learn, so it's easy. We're democratizing data, and what we mean by that is we will be the only company collecting this conversational data set in the industry and actually sharing it across management companies to make a better product for the industry. And integration. We work with all existing software platforms so we can be used in every community in North America. The team. As I mentioned, Bogdan and I come from the industry. And we're joined by our CTO, Rizwan, who's built enterprise-grade software while at Nokia and also worked on startups of himself. I'll leave you with this. We have an ask. We'd love for you to choose us to win the DigiFest prize. And the reason for that is this prize will go a long way in helping us continue to build a product that will not only make condo life easier for residents, but help the managers who need it the most. Thank you.
Right under the wire, Max. Let's give you 2 minutes for questions. Jurors, Kundan?
So two questions, but pronged into one. So you said $2 per unit per month.
Correct.
So from the perspective of, I'm assuming you're using a third-party SMS gateway.
It's like Twilio.
Twilio, yeah. So considering Twilio costs, how do you plan to make money on that? And second question is, how do you demonstrate ROI to the condo managers that those like $2 per month per unit savings or more?
Yeah. So I'll answer both of those. So the SMS fees are actually nominal, and there's a number of new providers out there who actually have cut those costs in half. And at the scale we'll have at 266,000 units, even our current scale, they don't even really impact kind of our cost of goods. And then when it comes to, sorry, the second question. Yes, sorry, two examples there. So when it comes to the ROI, we're actually seeing that. So we have a condo in Liberty Village, and they were so overloaded with resident inquiries, they were going to go hire an administrator for $21,000 or $26,000. They're putting stand-in now, and their net savings are going to be $21,000. We have another condo at Yonge and Eglinton. They have a full-time manager and assistant. They're still overloaded. They were going to put in a $50,000 junior PM. They're putting stand-in, and they're going to be saving about $47,000.
We have time for one more question. All right, that's it from the jurors.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Up next is Tareq's Tech. Where's Tareq's Tech? Round of applause for Tareq's Tech. Okay, you see where you need to look?
All right.
Your time starts now.
Hi, my name is Bhupesh Bhatia, and I'm the CEO of Tareq's Tech. Today, I'll tell you about our product, Ripen Sense. Did you know there are 4 million Canadians suffering from hunger? And yet, we have food retailers throwing away 10 to 40% of food products due to inaccurate shelf life. Overall, Canadians waste around $31 billion worth of food every year. For food retailers, that amounts to 1.75 million wasted per store. And for household products, that's around $1,400 worth wasted. So that's why at Tareq's Tech, we have come up with a solution called Ripen Sense. It is a combination of hardware and software platform that non-intrusively monitors food health. It will provide shelf life predictions, and it will help reduce food costs while increasing the revenue for a business. Now, how does it work? Let's see. You have food products. We basically place the sensors over the food products. Those sensors are connected to the cloud. From there, our smart sensors then constantly monitors the food items, and based on the changes in environment, they make certain decisions, such as predicting the shelf life of food products. From there, we can notify the businesses, and based on their requirements, we can either connect them to consumers or connect them through food donation centers. Now, for our target market, we are currently targeting medium to large-sized food retailers such as Loblaws, Sobeys, Walmart, or food distribution centers such as Cisco corporations. These targets basically lose around $250,000 to $1.5 million per year per store or distribution centers. So for our business model, we are basically charging $600 for the sensors, and our software platform will cost around $1,200. An average supermarket will basically buy both the sensors and the software platform together. After that, we'll follow it up with our software as a service model, where we'll be charging them $24,000. The value that we provide to our customers is that we can actually reduce the food waste while increasing their revenue. So the channels, we'll be using multiple channels in order to target them, email, social media platforms, websites, product demonstrations. Based on that, we'll be focusing on food retailers for the foreseeable future. For our market size, over the 10 years, what we are thinking is that service obtainable market will be around 32.5 million, while the service addressable market is around 52 million. This is, of course, based on the 20% market adoption rate. We have competitors in the market. It's a huge issue. So first, we have C2Sense. They are working on gas sensing technology. but their primary market that they are targeting is, while they're doing it, so what they're currently targeting is basically chemical plants. While on the other hand, you have sabermetrics. They are working on sensors that are actually predicting the shelf life of food products as well. However, we have a lower cost to entry, and we're also making sure that our product can be used by the existing technologies that the businesses are currently using. So, our product Ripen Sense won second place at Sheridan's Mobile Symposium in 2017. We currently have 4 people working on the software platform. All 4 of us are software engineers by profession. We also have a partner, Sunpillar, whose CEO, Peter Wheeler, is a professor at Sheridan College. He's currently helping us build the hardware for this product. Now, before I end this presentation, I do want to point out what our financial projections are for this. Based on our research, we think that we can have a break-even point in around 1 year. We are currently seeking $250,000 for R&D because we think it's a very big issue. From our product, Ripen Sense, we can actually save businesses a lot of money, we can reduce the food waste, and we can even connect the consumers with cheaper food options. But of course, there's a lot of work to be done, and we don't think that Ripen Sense will be able to solve all of the problems. However, it is a very good first step, because if we do nothing, then nothing will change. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
All right, questions from the jurors.
Yep.
So one of the challenges that, including your competitors that you mentioned, have faced is accuracy of detection, right? Yeah. So you didn't mention any clients or pilots that you already have, right?
Yeah.
So how are you making sure, first of all, you're testing it enough, as well as building the right hardware and software combination to achieve that accuracy? Because again, it's food safety, right? So it's obviously of paramount importance.
Yeah, that has been a very important concern for us. So for the past 4 months now, what we have been doing exclusively is collecting data. So we have been running different experiments just to ensure that our accuracy rate for the model keeps going up. That is one of the problems that we have found out. People know it's a very big issue, and whosoever cracks the market first is going to earn a lot of money. So even when you ask, we have been trying to contact different universities, even all over the world, trying to see if they can provide some data. So the data, it's not direct data that they're providing, it's always, they're basically accumulating from different sources. And so what we have been trying to do is actually run the experiments on our own. So currently we are going through fruits and vegetables, and after that we'll go after the meat market and the dairy market. So.
Carmen, did you have a question?
I'm just thinking about the experience of whom is actually managing these sensors, and that's something that I think will be critical to actually how the usability and the data ends up coming back to you. Mm-hmm. So it's just more of a comment than anything.
Yeah, no, that has been, we have been thinking about that too, because we want to make sure, because it's a very competitive market as it is, just for the grocery stores, right? So we need to make sure our sensors are priced at such a point where they won't be taking a very big hit, so that they should be able to recover the money quicker as well. So yeah, that has been one of the concerns as well.
Okay, that's it for the jurors. Thank you very much. Big round of applause for Tareq's Tech. Up next is Wish Play. Wish Play. See that right there in front of you. There's a monitor. Yeah. Would you like to stand or hold? Go back. Can we go back one, Jeff? No. That's what we had as your first one. Okay. Okay. All right, your time starts. Time starts now. You need a microphone?
I've been granting last wishes using this thing, and I've been helping someone like that who has congenital heart disease be able to see their first and unfortunately their last Halloween. They were able to actually experience it by using one of these things. Now, there's a big problem with using one of these things. It's actually it's not conducive to be able to put it on, try it on, and control it. And then for someone like this who has disabilities, even harder for them to control. They don't have the ability to actually control it with their hands. and then to put it on. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a solution that allows for that to take place. It's interesting, so the slides aren't working, so we're going to try to actually go through this way first. What we're going to do is we're going to create an app that allows for the person to set up an artificial, so let me show you. It's going to have an app where it allows the patient to input based upon what they want to do. And then we have our collection of over 7 terabytes of videos that allows for the patient to be able to then choose the videos that they actually want to see. And then what happens is it pushes it to the headset automatically. What that allows for is that even if they can't control the device, they can't do it, their caregiver can just put it on and will actually play automatically. And that's going to be very, very important because for people that have disabilities, just to be able to put it on, try to find content, try to be able to control it is an impossibility. Our model is going to be freemium and premium. Our goal is to be able so that anybody anywhere can put this thing on and be able to watch it right away. So the freemium model, obviously they get free. The premium is going to be then quality. It's going to have 8K quality. It's going to have longer videos. But then we're also going to have for the hospitals. The hospitals are going to actually, I think, we charge $10 a month. And they're going to have more premium features, things like infection control guides, those kind of things. The thing with this is that it's actually not just a solution that we're trying to do for other people. The co-founder here, Hermes, his mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And so he's now trying to make sure that this is actually done from a point of view that's compassionate. It's not necessarily to make sure that it's anywhere. It's also something that we have that's close to our heart. To make this actually a viable option, and we have to make sure there is a financial model here. We've done that. We've met some good financial planners, and we've done some. Met with 341 patients to date, and we are in 7 hospitals. And what we've been able to do is we've been able to actually do a lot of research to make sure that it's actually just as easy as that, as putting it on and letting it play automatically. There are 2 markets that we're going for. The top one is going to be for the leisure gaming VR market, and the bottom one is for the healthcare market. And what that will allow for is obviously you can see that there's extreme growth there. There is competition, but no one's actually granting wishes to patients. There is the healthcare market where they've got, there are apps in the healthcare market, but they're not actually doing anything with patients to allow them to actually grant last wishes. There's things like YouTube and Vimeo where you can play things, but it's just too much data, too many videos there, you can't find it. So we have a curated library that's been checked over by people, we've actually got a team of people that have disabilities so that we ensure that these videos are safe. And then we have things like data which they don't use that's digital. So our differentiator from them is we're actually doing interactive wishes using virtual reality, and they could actually be potentially a client for us. So the team, we've actually got an amazing team. We included, but I've been doing this for now 20 years using advanced technology. Hermes has been in hospitals doing research and helping out with research projects. And we've got Brandon. Brandon has cerebral palsy, but he's the most feisty guy that we've ever met. And he used to be a client who now is actually one of our leads for being a disability. We've got an amazing team for advisors. Now, the thing is, I got to ask for you guys is I want to win this because that's what we want to do. We want to make it so that we can actually have it so that we can put it on. So our friend Stevie Wonder, he can even put it on because he's got 360 sound. He wouldn't actually need to be able to see anything and hear it. And what that will also allow for is we want to be able to do voice activations. So
All right, thanks, Wishplay. Let's take some questions from the jurors.
So while you mentioned that you are differentiating from your competitors, you are, in essence, you are a content repository for VR, right? And let's say if I go to one of your competitor, either on, which is a content library on as an app or on Oculus Rift Store or whatnot, they will have multiple, again, amount of videos that they have available, and you can search for the right video in essence to get that. So in terms of your competition, in terms of when you're curating it, because you're not creating custom content for individuals, it's still searching for the right content for that individual. So can you explain how you are differentiating? I'm still not completely clear.
Yeah, no, the slides there didn't show it. They're not showing properly. What it actually does is it does actually allow you to curate it. It actually allows you to create a playlist. But there's a couple of things that you said there that was very interesting. You're able to search. No, they're not. These people aren't actually able to search. They don't have the ability to use the controller. They may not be able to actually then even do the head gaze. Some of them, Parkinson's patients, they can't actually control it so that they can get it onto the menu system. So what we're enabling it to do is the caregiver can do it as one thing, is controlling it that way. But what it also does is it automatically updates. So as it sits overnight time, it will actually download the latest content that has the highest trending specifically for the things that you've asked for. And so now you've got content delivered to this every single day, which is one of the biggest problems, not just for patients, but for VR in general, is like, just actually want, like, who's got one of these things and it just sits there and not use it? Why? Because there's not good content and it's hard to use. Well, all you need to do now is put it on and it automatically plays that good content.
Can you tell us just a little bit more about the business model, the revenue model?
Yeah, absolutely. So my goal is to make it so that it's free for anybody, anywhere. That's the main goal. And so we've got people all over the world that have 360 cameras. We've got almost 200 people now that are going to be putting videos into and being able to, you can even request something and they'll be able to fulfill it. That doesn't answer your question though, because that's actually a horrible business model because that's free and there's a lot of data there. So obviously that doesn't work. So what we're going to do is you're going to have sort of a two-tier. One's going to be for the regular person, is if you want to be able to request specific things, or if you want to be able to put, if you want to have, I'll give you an example. So if you've got a family member that you know has always wanted to go visit something, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to, okay, I want to be able to do that and target it and then send it to that person. Well, to do that, that will actually then be almost like a Netflix fee. So you're able to then do for a very, very small amount, be able to grant wishes for somebody and be able to make somebody quite happy. The hospitals are already looking at using this. I mean, you've heard today for a bunch of examples, but we're using this just to make people, like, the quality of life by sitting in a hospital, just being able to get out, just have 5 minutes of, like, not being stuck in a hospital. And so for hospitals to be able to use that and they want to do research on those things, there's a $100 a month fee for them. But that includes things like infection control. So you can see that the straps are done. It includes things like being able to differentiate your patients. All the things that make it a pain in the ass to use something like this, we've solved for that so that they can actually do it quite easily. And one of the things is we've got 190 hospitals, hospices, and long-term care facilities that have signed up for a paid pilot. Because it really is. It's just anybody, anywhere, and you can just put it on. So, yeah.
Thanks.
All right, that's all the time we have for questions. Give it up for Wishplay, everybody. We're going to come back to Mero. Mero is in the house. We're going to give them a chance at redemption here, Mero. All right, your time starts now.
Thanks so much. My name is Cole McDonald. I'm the co-founder of Mero Technologies, and we remove the uncertainty from building maintenance. So Mero is an intelligent supply and labor tool that saves commercial property managers over 30% on maintenance costs. And we're backed by some large corporate partners, such as Pearson Airport, Quadrille Property Management, as well as the City of Kingston. And Mero all started when I was in the property management industry, working with commercial cleaners. And I found that there was 3 problems that commercial property managers faced every day. One of them was visibility. Cleaners, or property managers rather, had no idea what their cleaners were doing other than pen and paper logs that could sometimes be faked. 2 was wasted supplies. Cleaners can throw out an extraordinary amount of supplies because they don't actually know when something's empty, causing them to just replace more because they're not sure when the next time they're going to be into a certain washroom. And the last one, and potentially the most detrimental one, is that property managers only know of cleaning issues after a tenant complains. So this results in a multi-million-dollar problem across a property manager's portfolio. And the market here is huge. So one of our customers, say a 54 office building, spends an average of $2 million per year on labor and $500,000 per year on supplies. And it leads to an annual waste per building of $300,000. And this has a potential, if you look at all the buildings across Canada and the US, to be over a $3 billion market opportunity. So the ROI with our technology is really quantified by people that, or buildings that use our technology can save up to 35% in supplies alone. So one of our pilot customers installed our technology. They were able to get instant dispatching to cleaners to areas that needed attention, and therefore were able to fill roles exactly when they were empty instead of just throwing them out as they came in. And so that's where that 35% savings came in. And again, so there's two parts of our product. There's one, which is the SMS feature, which is what cleaners get. And then there's also a Mero Dash product, which property managers use to collect information on their cleaning teams and general cleanliness of the overall buildings. So they're able to see the average refill of a soap or paper towel or toilet paper roll across their buildings, how well a certain cleaner is doing their job, what metrics are they hitting, all things that they've never had before. And our business model is simple. We charge $0 for any upfront costs, including the sensor installations. We charge a $3 per sensor per month subscription for every dispenser. And that leads to a $500,000 annual revenue per customer on an annual basis. So we've got three different portions of our go-to-market strategy. First is with supply distributors. So for instance, right now we work with Boston's largest cleaning supplies distributor to install our technology into their customer sites. We also have direct sales, and this is where Quadrille comes in on their property management portfolio, as well as Black & McDonald at Pearson Airport, as well as with Hilton Hotels we're also installed in. And then we also go with the OEM route, working with soap and paper dispenser manufacturers, like the third largest soap dispenser manufacturer in North America, Cut All Products. So in 2019, we have 20,000 sensors and a 5K MMR or MRR. And by 2020, we're going to reach 30,000 sensors by expanding with those commercial property managers across our portfolios and adding some new ones along the way. And we've got a strong team leading Mero. I'm the technology co-founder and started this company and an inventor of the technology. So I'll have Nathan Ma, our business co-founder, who's extended real estate experience in Southeast Asia, as well as Eric, our lead software developer that has vast experience building scalable enterprise solutions for customers such as the TTC. So our ask today is to win the DigiFest prize, and we'd use this to build up our inventory so we're able to service some of our large-scale manufacturers, as well as a partnership to look for more design and technical expertise at George Brown. Thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to any questions.
All right, jurors, over to you.
I have a question regarding the sensors, but before I ask the question, I want to ask you, can you explain again how do your sensors exactly work?
Yeah, so they go into the dispensers. So it goes in, it will install into a paper dispenser, the ones that are already in a building, and it's able to detect the levels of, say, paper towel or toilet paper. There's also a traffic solution, so we know how many people are entering in a washroom at a given time and what supplies need to be refilled.
So just for paper wastage, that's the main...
Paper wastage as well as traffic.
As well as traffic, okay.
Yeah, so there's a traffic sensor as well.
Any more questions from the jury? All right, that is it. That wraps up the competition. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all of the pitches for doing that, and we appreciate all of your time, of course. Now, it's time for us to make a choice. The judges will deliberate, and we will adjourn for now and come back at promptly 6:45 to make our final announcements. See you soon. What an exciting ride, and I'm sure you're all very excited to hear these results. So I don't want to delay this any further. But it was a debate, and thank you all. And give yourselves a round of applause for this pressure. Thank you so much. We don't have a drum roll soundtrack tonight, and it's getting late, so we're just gonna run through these winners and make sure that we applaud everyone. We're gonna start with honorable mention. Honorable mention, prize of, how much is it? Is a 12-month membership, yes, to Artscape across the street. Goes to Mero. Round of applause to Mero. And our People's Choice Award, always exciting, which comes with a cash prize of $1,000 with space at iCube at University of Toronto, Mississauga, goes to Retreat. Congratulations, Retreat. All right, and then we're up to 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. Third place. The prize of $2,000 plus 6 months of space plus starter kit and small business law library package from Claushound goes to Shuttershare, everybody. Shuttershare, third place. I just want to point out that these wooden trophies here are provided by Sciencey, one of our partners. Second place, now it's getting down to the wire, everyone, you're all hoping. Sciencey made those trophies. Another one for second place with the prize of $3,000 plus 6 months of space goes to LinkMentalHealth, everyone. Second place, LinkMentalHealth. All right, and now we've got the grand prize. First place is $5,000 cash plus a year of office space in the digital media and gaming incubator at GBC, plus legal services from Wilderbur de Leche. First place goes to StanAI, everybody. Big round of applause. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone. We had a great time today. This has been such an amazing ride, I'm sure, for all of you. Congratulations to the top 10, and congratulations to all the winners. There were a lot of winners, and we hope to see you all next year. We hope to see you tomorrow morning when programming resumes at DigiFest 2019. Over and out. Thank you so much.